Today I'm going to spend roughly 8 minutes parsing out the subtle implications of the image depicted in the thumbnail of this video. Hello, I am Xarkun, and this, as you all know by now, is World of Warships Legends. And by now, you've probably already seen the image in the thumbnail of this video. You probably saw it when Wargaming released it on all of their World of Warships Legends social media sites 1 or 2 days ago. And if you didn't see it there, you probably saw it as the image of another speculation video on YouTube, perhaps a video made by one of my fellow community contributors. Now, I haven't watched any of their videos. I'm not sure what they think about the implications of this thumbnail, and I really haven't discussed it with any of them because, frankly, I've been very, very busy in my life, and there's only so much time in the day to play this game, to make content on it, and follow up with it on social media, at least right now. Maybe when I move into my house, I'll have a lot more time. Well, actually, I know I'll have a lot more time to focus on interacting with the community a bit more and probably pushing out content a little bit more regularly because I've slipped up a little bit lately, but that's neither here nor there. I think I have a unique perspective when it comes to speculating on this topic because I have played World of Warships on PC. And I've been thinking about a complaint that I've heard many times about World of Warships Legends, especially recently. And that is that a lot of people feel like certain Tier 7 ships just don't really stand a chance when they're in a match with legendary tier ships. And I think there's a very good reason for that. That has to do with some balancing decisions and some matchmaking rules, and then some differences between those rules on both World of Warships Legends and World of Warships PC. The Jean Bart is a unique example, and there's a reason that I'm choosing it to sort of be the background footage of this discussion. Notice it is a Tier 7 premium battleship, and it also has a sister ship in World of Warships Legends, the Tier 7 Tech Tree French battleship Richelieu. Now on PC, it's a little bit different. On PC, Richelieu is Tier 8, and Jean Bart is Tier 9. Why is Jean Bart Tier 9? I think it essentially boils down to its very, very powerful consumable, the main battery reload booster, which it has and Richelieu does not. And that reload booster is essentially so powerful that it justifies the different tier placement. Now, when it comes to ships on PC and World of Warships Legends, they're not always really direct comparisons. Some minor details when it comes to statistics are changed, unless Wargaming really has changed the ships between PC and console, which they have in some cases. There are some outliers out there, like the Venom, which is a ridiculous Tier 9 destroyer on PC, and a rather average but honestly very interesting and fun to play destroyer at Tier 6 on Legends. But beyond barriers like that, at least at every tier below Tier 7, you have ships that their PC counterparts are one tier higher. For example, regular, everyday Tier 5 tech tree ships like the Pensacola on Legends are Tier 6 ships on PC. And then the Tier 6 ships on Legends are Tier 7 on PC. The Tier 7 Legends ships are Tier 8, and so on. And for the most part, it feels that way on World of Warships Legends. For example, a Pensacola is never going to be facing an Amagi on World of Warships Legends because we have a +1, -1 matchmaking rule. On PC, however, a Pensacola could indeed face an Amagi on a fairly regular basis, because a Pensacola is Tier 6 on PC, and Amagi is Tier 8, and on PC they have +2, -2 matchmaking. I think if you polled most of the PC players, they would prefer it very much if the matchmaking rule was +1, -1 as it is on Legends, because I'm sure you can imagine taking out a Pensacola and coming up against an Amagi, or a Richelieu, or some other Tier 7 battleship on Legends. The Pensacola would probably be ripped apart. It gets ripped apart by battleships at its own tier, and battleships just one tier above it. A battleship 2 tiers above it? Yeah, obviously you don't want that experience. You want that +1, -1 matchmaking rule. And for the most part, the ships at the lower tiers on Legends, with some notable exceptions here and there, feel like they are facing ships that are only a tier higher than them when they get up-tiered. That feeling really changes in the Legendary tier, I think, because by and large, most of the Tier 7 ships on Legends are Tier 8 ships on PC, and all of the Legendary tier ships, with the exception of the Alaska, which is Tier 9, are Tier 10. And it doesn't feel fun when you're playing PC in a Tier 8 ship to get stuck in a game full of Tier 10 ships. It's really hard for you to get anything done because the Tier 10 ships are simply more powerful than you. They have bigger guns, they have longer range, they have better reload, better accuracy, all kinds of things. It's just not a fun experience. And if you play World of Warships Legends, you don't want that experience, right? You want that +1, -1 matchmaking, but right now, at Tier 7, it sort of feels like you don't have it. So, Tier 8, if it exists as a buffer tier between Tier 7 and Legendary tier, and World of Warships Legends retains its +1, -1 matchmaking rule, will, I think, be a fantastic thing for this game in terms of balance and in terms of how it feels to play Tier 7 ships. In fact, Tier 7 itself might get a sort of rejuvenation, a sort of second life if this change is made. Now, as far as how this change is going to look, I don't know, and I'm not sure I want to speculate. Instead, I'll wrap things up here by telling you how I hope it happens. I hope Wargaming comes in and they add a Tier 8 tech tree ship to the end of every line. So a Tier 8 battleship, a Tier 8 cruiser, and a Tier 8 destroyer, even a Tier... no, not a Tier 8 aircraft carrier, never mind on that. The 3 classic classes, Tier 8 for battleships, cruisers, and destroyers at the end of every national tech tree line that you can grind to. And then they can do whatever they want with premium Tier 8s. They can sell them, they can use them as campaign ships, they can put them in the bureau, I don't care. I hope they add Tier 8 on to the end of the tech trees and you can grind. And if they do that, and they keep the +1, -1 matchmaking, I think the experience, at Tier 7 especially, is going to feel a lot better. And I think a lot of ships, like the Jean Bart, could be comfortably up-tiered to Tier 8, where they would have a much better matchmaking time, and I think much fairer matchmaking. More fair than we have here. And it's not fair because of the compression at high tiers, but Tier 8 could alleviate that compression. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.